All right, welcome back to Radio Nation. I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod, and I am now joined live in studio with the lovely band members from Maladies of Adam Stokes. So why don't we start off by going around, I guess, from my right and introducing yourselves so everybody knows your voice.
I'm Mikey. I play guitar and sing in the band.
My name is Emily, and I play the fiddle and piano.
My name's Koji, and I play some guitar and whatever instruments I can find at garage sales.
I'm Josh. I play guitar.
All right, guys. So my first question for you then is, how did the Maladies of Adam Stokes become a band?
Well, me and Mikey were in another band before this one, and kind of during our band practices on the off times, we would write little songs that didn't really fit into the genre. So we decided to try and form a band, and that summer we actually spent a lot of time at Emily's house, just every night jamming on guitar, playing around, and eventually we decided to make it a band.
What was, I guess the biggest challenge in making the band? Was it finding the sound, or was it just sort of like deciding to all work together, or what was I guess a really big task in, I guess, sort of just forming the band?
Actually, I think finding the sound was probably the easiest thing. That came really naturally, and that was what was really exciting. I think the hardest part probably was transitioning, at least for me. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but transitioning out of Holding Sky into this, it was such a jump, and it felt so different. I know I could imagine, and I don't want to speak for them because they're not here, but Ted, who's the drummer, and Brett, who's the bass player, they're like totally new to their instruments, and I could imagine that probably would have been an insane challenge, and they've risen to the occasion better than any of us. So
they learned because we asked them to play those instruments in the band. So.
Yeah, and then for me, it was just I hadn't been playing in a band for probably 2 years before the Maladies, so it was just getting back into it and actually practicing.
Fair enough. Now, how did you guys come up with the name?
So it's a slightly long story, but I'll try and be brief. So when I was studying medicine, it was one of these old books by these two 18th century cardiologists, and their last names are actually Adams and Stokes, and they wrote a book called The Maladies of Adam Stokes, Affairs of the Heart. And I'd heard it and I jotted it down. I thought it was kind of poetic and nice. And when we were trying to come up with band names, I just happened to come across it, and I threw it by the band. And I think initially there was some pushback because it's so obnoxiously long, and the word maladies is not very common.
The Maladies.
Yeah, we get that a lot, the Maladies of Adam Stokes. But I don't know. It kind of stuck. The Affairs of the Heart part, I think, was something that we felt kind of matched some of the music we were writing, and the title stuck.
Now, you described yourselves as folk rock. Who then would you say are your biggest influences musically?
Everyone give one?
Sure. For me, it's definitely Radiohead.
Attack in Black?
Hands down, one of the greatest Canadian goddesses of all time, Kathleen Edwards.
I have a tough time with this question. I think that probably my more recent influence has probably been Bon Iver, most recently. But I mean, even people like Howie Beck, who's a Toronto musician. I've been listening to him a lot lately, and he's really inspired some music out of me and stuff. So it's wide, but
don't lie, Mikey. We know it's Dashboard Confessional.
Way back when, yeah.
Now, your first EP was titled Oro Madante, and I guess it's sort of a common theme here. But I guess what was one of the hardest things about coming up with this album or this EP?
We recorded it really, really early on in our musical career, so a lot of us really didn't know how we all fit together. It was also recorded at our bass player's cottage in the middle of a room.
Live off the floor.
Live off the floor, exactly, yeah. So it was, there was a lot of challenges involved in just getting it all set up and actually just playing together, because at that point we hadn't even been playing together a few months.
But it was also natural because we started off jamming in a big room together, so there was something that just really fit together with us grabbing beers and sitting in a room and playing again. So it still resonates really well as one of our favorite pieces of work.
In terms of recording, then, was it actually recorded in Oromadante?
Yeah. So the cottage is up in Ormondante.
Right on.
I don't know what exit it is. I probably shouldn't even say.
Near
just in case,
Hawkstone.
but- Yeah, near Hawkstone. That's right. Yeah.
Right on. Do a lot of people that ask that, like, what the name of it is, do they know that it's a town or a place?
Yeah, a lot of people actually. More than I didn't know what the hell it was until I.
Yeah, I didn't realize it, and then every time driving north on the 400, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right on.
I thought that was kind of cool that you called it the name of the town that you guys, I guess, recorded. I assumed it was where you recorded, and
Yeah.
so I wanted to know. That's pretty cool. So City of Trees, then, of course, will be your next upcoming album. You said release date sometime in November. I guess, what can listeners expect on this album, this upcoming one, that's different from albums past?
A lot of production, a lot more production.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than just a few mics in a room this time. A lot of melodies and harmonies and.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, if you compare it to Ormondante, there are drums. That's a big difference.
It's a lot fuller sound. Sounds like a full band this time.
But I mean, it's done in like a professional studio at our friend David McKenzie's studio. It's called Beyond the Beat, and it's done over like a year. I think kind of one of the more interesting things about it is that we've evolved as a band, and you can kind of hear it throughout the tracks. Some of them maybe even just sounding a bit rougher than others. So the more recent ones kind of reflect where we are right now, and you'll kind of hear that when you listen to the album. And I think that's something that's pretty unique about it.
What, I guess, then, is what are you most excited about for the album when it comes out?
Well, we've been working on it for, like Mikey said, a year and a half. So we're really excited for people to just hear it, and it's our first opportunity to. I mean, when you're recording in a room with one or two microphones, there's really not a lot of room for studio trickery. Whereas on a record, a fully produced record, you can have vocal track on top of vocal track on top of vocal track and just get out as much artistic expression as possible. So I'm pretty excited for people to hear more of a more full vision of our music than.
Yeah. Our producer Dave was amazing too. He really helped with the layered soundscape in terms of giving us dynamic effects. So yeah, we owe a lot to him on this album as well.
He also trained us how to be in a studio as a band. So.
How important then is social media for you guys at this point in your musical careers?
Social media?
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh.
important.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything.
Yeah. It's the only way to get people to shows and introduce new people to the music. I mean, Ted is really on top of our whole Twitter feed, and we're constantly updating with photos and little things just so, keep people interested and give something back to anyone who is willing to follow us. I mean, I think it's kind of important to stay connected to your fans, and without social media, it would be like a barrier between us and them.
If it's not on Facebook, does it really exist?
Yeah, I don't even know PR methods outside of Facebook, to be frank.
Fair enough. It's true. It's pretty important these days. We're going to take a quick break here on Radio Nation, and we'll come back and we'll continue with the Maladies of Adam Stokes. So I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod, and you're listening to Radio Nation. You can follow us along on Twitter at radio_nation. And if you have Facebook, you can also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/radionation.ca. It is now 7:53 here on Radio Nation. We're broadcasting live from Centennial College in Toronto, Ontario. Welcome back to Radio Nation. I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod. It is now 8:11 here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and we're joined live in studio with the Maladies of Adam Stokes. All right, guys, so getting right back into the questions here. I know the biggest challenge seems to be like a theme in my questions right now, but what has been, I guess for you, a really difficult challenge that you guys overcame, but it was a big challenge at first, as a band or anything to do with writing music or just anything in general?
What are you laughing at?
I don't know.
That's so funny.
Emily has one apparently.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, I was just going to be wildly inappropriate, but I won't.
Oh, that's not.
So just in my head.
This is a family-rated show.
Let's save the inappropriate behavior for tour.
Yeah.
I think one of our biggest challenges, we mentioned it earlier, was a lot of us, well, first of all, we didn't really know how to play together as a band when we first started, as I think probably most bands don't. But as well, a few of our members had to learn instruments for the band. So that was, I'm sure, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm sure it was a challenge for them. It would have been a challenge for me. I mean,
Also,
It is a challenge for you though, because you
Yeah.
do play instruments that aren't sort of your thing, right? Like you
Yeah.
play
Trumpet.
you play the slide, and these things were new to you.
Was it hard for you guys to adjust it to playing with band members that were new at their instrument too?
I mean, in some ways, yes, but in other ways, no. Like, when you don't come in with any sort of, like, preconceived notions about what things should sound like, I don't know, something flows a bit easier. And I think that was what was really interesting when we started, is that, I can remember playing with Ted for, like, the first little while, and him literally just picking up drumsticks for, like, the first time. And there was just something really natural about what he was doing. And, I mean, it was obviously challenging because he's never played drums before, but at the same time, that had that aspect, which was really unique. I'd never experienced that before.
One thing I wanted to ask, preferably him, but I guess maybe you can speak on behalf of him. Is I guess what made him transition to just becoming a drummer?
We should text him.
He didn't just want to be in the band.
Yeah.
We wanted him in the band.
When me and Mikey first started, we chose our members not based on their ability at their instruments or anything like that. There were just some people we knew that we wanted to be in a band with. So we decided, okay, this is, you need to fit in here somehow. So we wanted him to play something. At first, the idea was that he might even play bass. But when he first sat down in front of the drum set, we were like, okay, that's it. You're playing drums.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I don't think we ever had designs at first about going on tour or recording a record or anything like that. It was just about having fun and playing music that we had never played before. So there wasn't a lot of pressure, I don't think, surrounding anybody.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to go on tour.
I don't know. It's hard to speak on Ted's behalf. And I mean, he's not just a drummer in some senses. Like he and everyone really helps write the music as a whole. So I wouldn't even consider him just a drummer at this point.
He also does a lot on the production side of
exactly,
things.
yeah. And I mean,
great ear.
as we mentioned, I think before, or maybe we hadn't yet, basically when Koji and I were in our old band, Holding Sky, he did a lot of like our pre-production stuff because he had a really high interest in like sound engineering and sound recording and things like that. And so that's actually how we met and knew Ted. And it was sort of that sort of got him where he became sort of our like production guy. So in the studio, he has like almost as much clout as like our producer does in a lot of ways, because he knows all the details about what's going into the recording and knows the music like the rest of us do. So he's got that double whammy going.
And is that really, really helpful then for you guys as a band, I guess, because is it easier to work with your producer than because you have somebody that also knows what it's like to be a producer?
Absolutely. I think because we don't know the difference really between most of us don't know the difference between like an SM57 and a Beta 58 and all these other microphone terms, and it's nice to have somebody who knows that so that they can speak on our behalf as far as we know what we want it to sound like, but we don't know how to get it there. So it's nice to have someone who can do that.
Our producer is also an amazing musician, so he meets us halfway as well in terms of like.
Yeah, he's almost like the seventh member in a lot of ways.
So Josh, you were once in a band before, Leaders and Dreamers. I guess talk to me about how being in that band has helped you as a musician to where you are today.
Well, this band's a lot different actually. The music's a lot different, a lot better. It's more mature. I think it's better, more mature. I mean, if anything, it just helped me the fact that I already knew how to play guitar, and.
Like everyone else in the band who's like learning on the spot.
I'd played shows. I'd gone through a couple of recording processes like Koji and Mikey, so it just helped me prepare for what we were about to do.
Was the fact that you performed in another band, did it help you, I guess, going forward with other performances, because you know how it's been? You've never had to wonder like what's it like on a stage, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I never really get too nervous, more just anxious with anticipation to play. So that was always good.
Now, Koji and Mikey, you guys were also, like you just alluded to earlier on in the broadcast, that you were also in a band together as well. So I guess how was your experiences playing in a band with each other? How does that help you guys, when forming the rest of this band or working together in this band?
It's kind of funny because working together for so long in the previous band, we have our own, I don't know, code or language or something. Like he'll want something and not be able to explain it in words, and I'll know what it is without him having to vocalize it, because we've been doing it together for so long that it's just it's almost like second nature.
Emily has something inappropriate to say.
Nah,
Okay.
they finish each other's
Sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really put it any better than that. That's sort of the feeling. I think it goes both ways, and I hope it does. You know, to be able to sort of have an idea and then barely even get a sentence out before somebody is sort of finishing it is a really nice relationship to have with somebody. And, you know, we get at each other's throats a lot too, but that's sort of the process. And I think we've become really, really close as a result of that. So, you know, I mean, we all have that sort of relationship in certain ways, but I do think that Koji and I, just having played for so long and having played different types of music has made something kind of unique.
Now, Emily, you're a classically trained pianist, and you're also a fiddle player. But
I don't know about classically trained. I did the Royal Conservatory.
okay,
That's classically true.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
that's what it says in your bio.
Oh,
So,
maybe we should edit that.
so leading into my question, but it also, you know, I also understand you're like the entrepreneur in the group. You're sort of that's what I read on your bio anyway. Do you want to? I guess, is that correct? Is that read right?
Well, yeah, I have my own photography business, which I won't plug. But I also kind of help with Koji. We do the managerial stuff of the band, and we do have a publicist, but touring and bookings and our own promo stuff. So yeah, I guess entrepreneurial.
How difficult then is it, you know, being an independent band? You know, how difficult is it to book your own gigs and to set up shows and to organize a tour and that sort of stuff?
Well, you mentioned earlier about me and Mikey being in a previous band, and that really helped us, because being in that band for 5 or 6 years, I was able to build up some contacts, so it made it a lot easier for us to get in the door at first with gigs. But I think maybe Emily can speak to how difficult or not difficult it's been to try and book the tour, because I only book in Toronto for the most part.
The tour is taking a lot of emailing and phone calls, but you know, the Canadian music scene is so great. People are so receptive and open to new acts and opportunities. So I've had a lot of great responses out east. Our tour is in November 4th to the 16th. And yeah, people have been really warm and welcoming. Even I even had a few guys suggest, like, oh, this is not the right pub to play at. Like, let me give you my buddy's name down the road type of thing in smaller towns. So that's really cool.
We almost got a pub in the Highlands opening up specifically. Like, they closed throughout like the winter months, and they were actually going to like open up specifically for the night, but then they couldn't do it or something. So
You mentioned an East Coast tour. Whereabouts in the East Coast for those that are listening that don't know?
Fredericton, Moncton, Halifax, Charlottetown is in the works, Quebec, Montreal, Kingston, Peterborough, Ottawa. There's a few more stops in there.
If you guys are looking for
Sackville.
specific cities or
Quebec.
dates, check out our Facebook.
We'll be launching what the final tour is in a week or two, with posters and what have you, so everyone can check that out.
Right on. Now, is there a particular stop that you're looking forward to most? Is there a city that maybe you've never been to that you're just like, well, I really want to play here?
I think we're really looking forward to going everywhere, because this is our very first tour. I'm excited to go to Halifax, because I got some friends there, and we visited there just kind of like on a vacation a couple years ago, and it was like an amazing city. I have a feeling that the whole East Coast and everything kind of along the way is going to be equally as cool, but that one city to me is sort of a highlight in my brain.
I'm planning on eating a lobster dinner every single night.
Yeah, we can talk about that after, about the perils of not getting lobster when you actually go, because it's not always lobster season.
I don't care.
Now, how do you plan on getting out there? I mean, I know that sounds like a really obvious question, but I've heard bands, they've had to take Greyhound, or they've had to take buses out, or they've rented somebody's van and slept in the van all across Canada. So how do you guys plan on getting out there?
Rickshaw.
We have a band van that we're hoping we don't run completely into the ground. We have a couple vehicles that we're gonna load with all our stuff.
Stair car.
Stair car. Damn. Yeah.
And do you plan on sleeping in these vehicles, or is it something where you're
Hopefully
sort
not.
of
That'd be probably cool.
Yeah,
Be cool in
there's some
November,
places
but-
that have band apartments, which I've also heard are a bit dodgy, but we'll do whatever it takes. So, hostels, band apartments,
The kindness of strangers.
Yeah.
kindness
I'll-
of strangers.
Yeah.
I'll
Warm
sweep for any
floors.
video cameras beforehand.
Well, you just had a band on here not too long ago who they just toured across Canada and they slept in their van the entire time.
Wow.
And I do not know how they did it. I don't know how they were able to shower or do anything, but it's okay for a few days. But I could not imagine doing. They went all the way to Montreal and back from Vancouver. So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
they stopped
That's a
everywhere.
stinky bunch of dudes.
Yeah, they went from Sault Ste. Marie to Toronto in a day.
Whoa.
Like it was. I don't know how they did it, so I'm curious as to know how you guys are gonna.
So are we,
make
I
the
guess.
East
Yeah,
East
we'll-
Coast hike.
Have us back, and we'll let you know how
For
it went
sure.
after.
Well, I guess besides the East Coast tour, what else is in the works for you guys other than obviously the album coming out and the tour? Is there anything else sort of in the works?
Indie Week.
Indie Week.
Yeah, we got accepted into Indie Week. So
Congratulations.
thanks. We're really pumped for that. The exact date is
October
Thursday,
11th.
October 11th at
Yeah, where
Cherry
are we playing?
colas. Cherry colas.
Cherry Colas,
Right on.
and we go on around 10:30ish.
No, I think it's like 9.
It was 9:30.
Yeah, around 9 o'clock.
Way
Way to
off.
go, guys. Way to know. We're really prepared.
Check our Facebook for dates and times.
No, it's Cherry Colas on October 11th, and I think we're on sometime just after 9.
Yeah.
Did you just find out recently about it?
Yeah, we played a show at Chofsky's on Queen Street,
Mhm.
and I had a chance to meet Daryl, who's the guy who does his like the brains behind Indie Week, and we had a
Mhm.
nice chat. And then, by the grace of the unknown, we got a chance to perform at Indie Week, and we're really excited because it's just such a cool opportunity. We're excited to meet other people and play with some really great bands.
Is this your first time at Indie Week?
First time like playing, yeah.
Right,
We've been obviously
right.
before, but yeah, absolutely.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I personally won't be here for it, but I know we're going to have our co-host out there covering it, so maybe we'll get him to come out to one of your shows and
Awesome.
review on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here on Radio Nation, and then when we come back, we'll do the really fun part, which usually actually takes sometimes as long as the rest of the interview, which is we do like what we call it the speed round because we just ask a bunch of really random questions here on the show. Anybody that's listened knows we just ask pretty much kind of like 21 questions, but a lot more fun and a lot more random because usually with 21 questions it's like a date or something that you're trying to talk to somebody about that. So this isn't by any means any sort of dating questions, but just really random and fun questions.
Damn.
Nick's coming on to us.
So the next song here on Radio Nation that's coming up is Hometown Revenge, The Story of Tobias and Lily, followed up with Ashley Lissett's brand new song, Misunderstood. So I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod. You're listening to Radio Nation. Follow us along on Twitter at Radio. Welcome back to Radio Nation. We're joined live in studio with Maladies of Adam Stokes. And that last song you just heard was Self-Made Millionaire by Alabama Capital from Cincinnati, Ohio. All right, guys, so here it is. It's called the Speed Round, and what we do is we just ask a bunch of, because usually my co-host is here, but he's sick, and I hope he's listening. So hi, Andrew. So what I'll be doing is I'll just be asking a bunch of really, really fun and random questions, and it's just sort of for the fans out there that are fans of your band and fans of the show and fans of other musicians. They get to know you a little more. They get to know you besides the musical side of you. So first question tonight is, what is your favorite food? And we can just work around the room.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Ooh.
Mexican.
Frozen bananas.
You guys
Oh,
are ass.
I like lobsters.
Lobsters? Right on.
More than one.
Big reason why you want to go out east?
Only reason.
Fair enough. Okay, favorite Disney movie growing up?
Oh, Fantasia.
Ooh, good choice.
I liked Snow White.
I don't know if this is too late in the game, but I liked The Lion King.
It's a good answer, too.
Yeah. Beauty and the Beast is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
wait,
cat-
Mickey and the Beanstalk. That was my favorite one, actually.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
That's, yeah.
My cat is actually named after a character from the Aristocats.
Oh, right on.
That's a good
What's
one,
its
too.
name?
Marie.
Right on. All right. this is a question that, and some of these questions were actually generated by a band that once came on the show called Last Bolt, and they're actually going to be at Indie Week as well.
Oh, cool.
But they, one of them, Brendan, I'm pretty sure it was Brendan. He came up with this one question, and it's really good. You're on death row. You committed this terrible crime, and you get your last meal. What is it?
Mexican.
Really original.
Oh yeah, shrimp taco.
Mine's Popeyes.
Good answer. I just found out there's a Popeyes in Toronto. I didn't even know
There's many
that.
Popeyes in Toronto.
I didn't know that. I'd never really seen one before. I always see them in the States, and I
Oh,
was,
they're popping up.
Didn't we have that for your birthday once, Emily?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good. It was delicious. I would say spaghetti. Meat spaghetti.
right on.
I'm just gonna go boring and say a big steak.
Genius.
Josh?
Oh, I want Popeyes.
Oh yeah, you said Popeyes. That was right on. Okay, so what is your favorite N word? Oh, we can ask that question. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be.
It's gonna be a phrase.
Nickelback.
Oh, the worst of the N words.
The worst.
No.
Good one.
You do say that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty.
No touching.
I don't know.
Two.
She's got nothing. She's got
Emily's
nothing.
out.
That's her favorite N
Emily's
word.
out.
Somewhere that you would always wanted to visit.
India.
The moon.
Ooh.
No one has ever said that on that show. On this show, that's cool. That's probably my favorite response.
Oh, thank you.
The moon.
Come on, Koji.
I don't know. Narnia.
Oh.
Even better. That's a good one too. No one has ever said that. Everybody just says like Australia and stuff. Like,
That's a good one too, though. I'd like to go to Australia.
yeah, fair enough.
I can't go to Narnia. I'll go to Australia.
Mine's WrestleMania.
He's not kidding.
Yeah, that's a real.
Somewhere that you've always wanted to perform. It doesn't have to be like the same as the place, but that you just said. But I mean, it's like somewhere like that. You've like a stage or like wherever, like a venue.
Oh man, my dream is to play Massey Hall in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mine. That was gonna be mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
Massey Hall.
WrestleMania.
Good one. Is there any musicians that you would love to share the stage with?
There's tons of musicians.
Any
musicians
severely in
out-
particular?
Any musicians out there listening who want to share the stage with us?
Mr. Dan Romano.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Give us a call. You're a genius. And you are like just amazing live too. It's great.
I'd like
Yeah.
to share the stage with Noel Gallagher. I think he's hilarious.
Good answer. So you guys are going on this East Coast road trip. What kind of things are you going to be doing while you're in the car? What's going to be on the CD player or the iTunes?
Oh, the tape player.
Yeah, or
It's
we have a
always-
tape player in our
It's Always
van.
Sunny in Philadelphia. It's definitely going to be on repeat.
I was thinking that maybe I was gonna get some like books on tape. I don't know. I've never done that before. I want to try it out.
Learn Spanish.
what is your favorite book?
My favorite book?
Mhm.
Oh man.
Affairs of the Heart by
Yeah,
Adam Stokes.
obviously.
There you go.
No, I like Dune. Man, I'm a sci-fi loser about
Yeah,
the looks
there's
of
a
it
lot
here,
of
right?
geek in this
The
band.
moon, Dune.
You were gonna say something before I cut you off. There.
Oh no, I was just we're on books now, but I was gonna say as far as touring goes, I'm gonna play a little game called Tater Toss that
Yeah.
was taught to me by another touring band in which there's a referee and two players. The referee calls out a street sign that's coming towards you as you drive, and the two people have to take mini potatoes and try and toss it at the street sign, and the first person to hit gets points.
That's a lot of potatoes, though.
Yeah, could we use rocks?
Mini potatoes.
Yeah, they're small.
rocks, eggs, frozen eggs.
As an
Golf balls.
Irish girl, I'm offended by that.
Will there be a lot of like license plate spotting or any of that random stuff? What kind of other random?
We're
music
gonna
you-
count horses.
What? So serious about that? I don't know. Actually, we haven't really thought about games and stuff.
I think there's just going to be like a lot of sleeping and nursing hangovers. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monopoly. I have a lot of those.
No Monopoly.
Is there a particular fast food place that you guys are gonna like is a must to stop at, whether it's like Tim Hortons or something like along those lines?
this is a good opportunity for you to tell everyone how you feel about Tim Hortons as a meal.
I think Tim Hortons is a delightful place, but only for snacks.
It's
if
not a
you,
good meal
If you tell me
place.
that you're gonna go there to eat a meal, I'll tell you you're
Like,
wrong.
but like
Bread
the
is very
the
hard.
lasagna that they have, or
They have lasagna now.
I think so.
I'm sure it's no good.
All I can think of is sandwiches that I could probably make better at home.
No, I mean fast food though. Let's. I like Wendy's.
Wendy's is good. McDonald's is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
They're all good.
McDonald's fries just can't be beaten.
That's
like,
true.
What about Fry Supreme?
Oh,
Aye.
yeah.
Times.
We don't want to make too many stops though.
Yeah.
What is one thing about yourselves that your fans don't really know about you?
I'm half machine. I'm a monster.
Can't top that.
We really like Arrested Development.
I was going to get to a question about
Oh,
Arrested
okay,
Development.
right. What else?
I sleepwalk,
Oh yeah.
but like in a really scary way, which
Like
I'm
how
frightened.
scary?
like spiders falling out of the ceilings. And the other day I saw a black ghost walk across the apartment in my
Oh my
sleep.
And you were
God.
And she like reacts and interacts with them and stuff.
that's
Yeah.
right.
really
Yeah.
cool. Have you?
She's
I'm-
also a heavy drug user.
I'm
really.
scared to go on tour now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Oh God.
Your bio says that you're a huge fan of TV shows, so let's name them because we just mentioned it and I didn't want to give it away.
Sorry.
What is your favorite TV show then?
Arrested.
I like Seinfeld and
Arrested,
The Shield.
Arrested Development is obviously the band
It's
favorite.
like the band
It's
favorite.
pretty good.
Everybody-
What is it about Arrested Development that you guys really, really like about that show? I've seen a few episodes. I haven't seen too much of it, so.
It's just very layered.
It's very
Yeah,
layered.
so
Jokes
much-
upon jokes upon jokes, and it just goes on forever.
I think I've watched each season like 8 times,
Mhm.
and like I'm watching it now, and I'm still laughing. Like I just find it so funny, and I cannot wait for the new season.
It's smart.
Yeah, it's very smart.
For fans of Community, it takes that whole sort of inside joke, fourth wall breaking thing to the next level.
I was a huge fan of Lost for a really long time, and then I don't know.
That's not good.
I'm still yeah. We don't want to talk about it.
It's too heavy.
What? This is another question that was created, but it's an interesting one. What is a product in the market right now that you think is just really stupid and shouldn't exist?
I got mad the other day because I told a bunch of people that Siri was no different from Google, and then they got really mad at me.
Talks to you.
It's
Yeah, Siri's
Google.
better.
It's,
Basically.
it's just a talking Google. I don't.
So it's not Google.
I don't
'cause it
think this
talks.
product should exist, but I'm glad that it does. The shake weight.
And what is
I don't know if you're familiar with the
think I
shake
know
weight,
what-
but anyone who's listening, just Google it right now
I
because
wish
it's the
people could
ultimate
see me.
workout device.
There's like a different one. I think it's called it's something toner.
the ab toner or something like that, or you just put the belt around your waist and just sit there?
Just YouTube shake weight and thank me later.
Or
Um,
watch the South Park episode.
All right. How do people get a hold of you on social media?
Facebook.
So yeah, you can check. Just type in the Maladies of Adam Stokes. It's a bit of a long name, so I can spell some of the weirder words. So Maladies is Maladies, and then it's of Adam, ADAM, Stokes, STOKES. And then we're on all the major stuff. So we're on Twitter. We have a Tumblr account. For those, I don't know if everybody's familiar with Tumblr, it's TUMBLR. Facebook, obviously.
The Twitter is at Maladies of AS.
Right. And then we have like our basic website that you can just go and check us out there, just at www.themaladiesofadamstokes.com. And then we're on all the various sort of music sites. So we're on CBC Radio 3. We're on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
MySpace, if that even exists anymore.
It's
They're
still
revamped.
there.
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
they are.
Yeah.
To do what?
it's
To
be
look
MySpace
nicer.
again.
Oh.
Coming back.
Final question before I play music off your album. What is there anything else you guys want to add that I haven't asked you, or that your fans should know about, or anybody you want to thank, or?
November 24th at Lee's Palace is our CD release, so come out and say hello. If I'm going to put this out there. If you email us, if you're listening right now and you email us at themaladies@hotmail.com and say you were listening to this broadcast, I will put you on the guest list.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Fancy. I do want to take a bit of an opportunity just to say thanks to some people who have helped us out. In particular, sort of, we did this. I don't know if you're familiar with Rocket Hub. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
So basically, it's like a website where you can you can like fund a project, or like people can fund a project, and we put our like upcoming album as a project to fund on Rocket Hub, just to raise some money for some of the like mixing and mastering of the album, because we wanted it to sort of be the best thing possible, and we succeeded, and we got our goal, and it was all thanks to a number of people. Like the list is long, and I obviously can't list them, but I just want to say thanks to everybody who helped us out with that. It meant a lot to us, and we're really, really excited to get the album out to everybody so they can finally hear some music.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on the show, and before we let you go, we're gonna play your song. We're gonna play "City of Trees" by you guys, and also I don't know if you guys know, but we have an end of the year award contest here on Radio Nation, and we have entered you guys in as a Canadian musician up for an award, Canadian Musician of the Year. So tell all of your fans they can come vote. The website link is www.radionation.ca/awards2012.html. That last piece is important because apparently if you don't put HTML in there, it like doesn't work. I don't know why.
Tell your friends about this radio show.
Yes. So yeah, the voting begins on October 10th, and it will run until December 10th, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll see who wins. It's a fun, friendly thing, but tell all your fans, and definitely you guys are nominated for it. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming on the show tonight, taking time out of your evening to come visit us. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Nick. It was amazing. Thanks so much.
So before you go, we're going to play your song, City of Trees. So give me 1 second here while I cue it up.
Cool.
All right, so this should be City of Trees, and I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod. You're listening to Radio Nation.
I was born the wrong side of the sea. I was made for a life amongst these old-time folks, denizens of a city of trees. Somewhere in here lies my peace. And lies my peace. Saved my life when I was alone, and you saved my body when I bled from my soul. You're not the one for me to keep, but you kept me going on. Holy Mother, you cut like a blade, and I lost my faith in her ways. She drowned my doubt in a river of pain, and I learned you'd meant it that way. And you saved my life when I was alone, and you saved my body when I bled from my soul. You're not the one for me to keep, but you kept me going on.